All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're going to go into how knowledge has increased. How these nations, you're going to start to see in this, because we're in pretty much in the beginning stages of World War III. Okay, so what you're going to see is, these nations to start to bring in like their AI, robotics, stuff like that. Okay, so Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, set up the words and seal the book, even to the same time, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. See that? Because people are going to be kind of, scrambling for answers, stuff like that, But right here, let me get it. It's right here. So you have here in this news here, it's Ukraine. All right, Ukraine turns. The backdrop right here says Ukraine turns to robotics to replace soldiers on the battlefield. All right, because this is what's gonna happen in this in this war that's coming up, this Third World War. All right, so this we'll just read a little bit. Ukraine is actively integrating robotics into its military, with plans to deploy 15,000 unmanned systems to front by 2025, said Hib Kanivsky, head of Defense Ministry's procurement department, in an interview with Ekonomika Pravda. Thousands more systems are being supplied by volunteers and private companies. Right, and that's very important, and there's a lot here. I'm not going to go through all of it. All right, so this is what's going to be happening out here, because you're going to see like robotics out here. China has them, America has them. These nations are going to start bringing out, their robotics. And this is where we just read. Let's go back to, let's see where we at here. Right here, Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. See that? Okay, so knowledge shall be increased, because this is what you have to understand. All right, knowledge shall be increased. So this is why you're starting to see robotics. Okay, these nations are, and like it says, they're private companies, so that's what this is what America is full of. Okay, America has nothing but private companies. Remember, there's a lot of teams out here, militias, sleeper cells, people that are having like exoskeleton suits, stuff like that, but they're from private companies. Remember like that movie Blue Beetle? Okay, you guys ever seen that movie Blue Beetle? how they were like private companies, but they had like powerful. They had very powerful, you know, weaponry, like that movie Blue Beetle. All right. Remember they had like those top, like they were like androids and robots and stuff like that. All right. So there's a lot of private companies and stuff like that that have like actual, like Iron Man suits, exoskeletons. They even have suits that make them invisible. They have a lot. So you imagine in that day, all right, and that's something that you know that I wanted just to share with you guys before I let's see here, before I continue with this lesson here. All right, so I had last night, I had it was a dream, I had, but it was pretty much when things start to get rolling out here. All right, like these militias are going to be going at it, militaries. It's going to be like you're going to have war on all fronts. Remember, like that movie The Purge. So you're going to really have that, where it's going to be total lawlessness out here, for a while, because before the Lord allows these militaries to rain ICBMs at each other, there's going to be like civil war, martial law, like the purge, anarchy, civil unrest. You're going to have that first, people going into guillotines and all that before those missiles come, because if the missiles come prior to that, everything's going to be gone. So this is how that's going to happen first, but yeah, I had a dream last night, and man, those people were taking people out, because you have like a lot of teams out here, right? You got a lot of teams out here, a lot of sleeper cells, militias, whatever, UN troops, however you want to call it. All right, but last night, the Lord allowed me to see, because there were people like trying to survive in the city, but they're it's just put it like that, like the city people, like they were already teams, going at it with each other, because it's gonna be a time of lawlessness, before it's all said and done, before the Lord rains ICBMs over here in America, and over there in Israel. But before the Lord does that, so just put yourself, imagine like these cities are like in like urban warfare, okay, urban warfare, and people are going at it, right? All right, so imagine that happening. People are fighting against each other, and what I saw last night, my dream that was from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, is that those people, because there's teams out here that have invisible suits, man, they were taking people out, and that was crazy, because people, they couldn't really guard against that, and I saw that, the Lord allowed me to see that, people, they were like fighting, but they were just trying to like get out of town. They were just trying to like not get killed, because there was like a team out there, but they had like invisible suits, and they were just taking people out. Can you imagine? Like you can't even see where the enemy's at, and like the enemy can be right next to you, and you don't even know that with the invisible suit. All right, so the Lord let me see that last night. So yeah, that was man, that was wild, because the people were so afraid. Because you have a lot of teams out here, right? But you imagine, like, it's different, because like when you have, like, let's say a robot coming at you, a tank, like at least you have time to kind of prep. Like, okay, let's, teams can kind of strategize, because they could be like, all right, let's hit them from the back, let's double team the android, whatever it is. Like, let's say there's a robot coming at you, a tank. The opposite side, they can strategize, like, okay, let's get some snipers, whatever, let's get an RPG, however, like, hey, let's stop this thing, right? Team up, whatever, whatever, have a jet, hit it with a missile, a drone, okay, whatever. But what the Lord let me see yesterday was, um, because there is gonna be like a purge out here. It's gonna be like civil unrest, anarchy, for a little while. And there was like a team out here that had invisible suits, and they were taking people out. Because can you imagine like people that you can't even see your enemy, and they come right next to you and just take you out because you can't even see them. You know, and so the people, the other teams, the other people who were like trying to fight, they went from fighting mode to being in complete fear and just survival mode, because you couldn't even go from one building to the other because the team that had invisible suits, they were just taking people out in the streets. Can you imagine that? And that brought like terror to people, because these other teams, like, remember, when you see another soldier, they may be stronger than you, but at least you can strategize. Like, okay, this person has a gun, they have an artillery, a military vehicle or whatever. But these people that had invisible suits, the other teams, like they were so afraid, because imagine you can't even see your enemy. So how can you defend against that? So the people out here that, are in their teams, whatever that you have out here, they were so afraid because they went from, just fighting each other. And then once the team came with invisible suits, the other teams out here they were so afraid that they weren't even no more like in war mode. They went from, like anarchy, to like shooting their bullets, to running, to just trying to survive, because the team with invisible suits were like just taking them out. Yeah, it was crazy. The Lord let me see that last night. And yeah, because these teams, remember, the team that was opposite from the team that was in like with their invisible suits, they went from straight up okay, like like war mode to straight like survival mode, like just trying to run, like just trying to get away. And the Lord let me see that last night. So there's a lot of stuff that's gonna happen out here, a lot of stuff, but the Lord let me see that last night. So there's a lot of stuff that's gonna be that's gonna happen out here, a lot. St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So that's reports of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So it's just the beginning. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. That's what we're clearly seeing right now. And there shall be famines. Lack of food, water, but also a lack of information, and pestilence, and earthquakes, in diverse places. Okay? All these are the beginning of sorrows. See that? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. All right, and shall be hated for all nations for my name's sake. Right, because there's a great persecution coming. All right, remember that, because they're going to persecute the believers and the prophets, but they're not going to be able to get their hands on all of them, because some of the elect will get prosecuted, but the others, the angels are going to protect them. Okay, verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another. That's the key word right there. All right. So St. Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 10. And then shall many be offended. See, because this word offends them, because it's not, this word is not about, oh, all right, yeah, let's make America great again. No, this word is, America's going down in 1 hour. The heathens and Edomites are going into slavery. So many are offended, like, what? But they're going down. Because remember, America loses in this Third World War. And shall betray one another. See? And shall hate one another. So there's going to be a lot of betrayals out here. And shall hate one another. Because you're going to have a lot of that happen. Remember, you're going to have your ultimate betrayals out here. You're going to have your ultimate backstabbing out here. Because remember, especially those of you guys that are like in teams, Remember, they have top technology out here. They have clones, out here that look like, they're artificial clones, out here, and they have memory and everything. They eat, they bleed, everything. So how will you know that your teammates that the other team hasn't got them, and put them in a dungeon and cloned them already, and now you have like a satanic super soldier, a clone on your team, and you don't even know it. You think that's the same old guy. You think that it's still Jeff, but that's a clone right there. And the clones, they make them in all shapes and sizes. From grandma all the way down to children. Facts. All right. So that's something that these teams out here have to worry about, because because these clones, like, they don't look all like retarded. Like, they're legit. Like, you can't even tell the difference. Like when you see someone, like when you go to these stores, you go groceries, you can't tell the difference because they're that on point. And like, let's say if you try to like ask one of these clones like a question, they'll answer it because they have memory. They eat, they bleed. So how can you tell? So these teams out here, and remember, all these teams out here, it's like the movie The Matrix. All these teams need is for one person to betray them. All you need is one sellout. Remember, like that dude, I forgot his name. Oh, I think his name was Cypher, right? Cypher from Matrix. Remember the first Matrix? Remember, he betrayed. It was all it takes is one person, and remember that. And these teams out here, all it takes is one person to betray you, and that's it, and it's over. All it takes is one person to betray you, and that's it. They know everything about you, who your boss is, your locations, everything. All it takes is one motherfucker, excuse my Italian, to get weak and to sell out and to turn on you. Once you have somebody betray on you, all it takes is one person. All it takes is one person, one spy, and that team is pretty much through. Because in war, it's all about intel. If the enemy knows where you're at, who your boss is at and all that, that's it. Because it's, they go and report to the other team, and then the other team can strategize. Like, okay, look, this is where they're at. This is how they move. Imagine, So that's why, all it takes is one person to betray you. That's it, And the whole team is done. Just like that movie, The Matrix. All it took was that one dude to comply with that agent. Remember? And he gave up Neo. He gave up their location, all that. See, because he sold out for some steak. Remember that and all that. Well, that can happen in these times. Yeah. The enemy, they can capture them like on the weekend and clone them, and you won't even know. You know what I'm saying? You'll think that, oh yeah, this is my buddy right here, not even knowing that they already got his ass in the dungeon and they already cloned his ass. And that's top information right there. That's and that's real. Okay, that's top information out there because they're out there and they're on point like that. But you gotta be in the know to know what's going on. If you roll your eyes and like, oh yeah, right, well that's on you. But just wait till these sleeper cells and all that get activated. It's gonna be very real out here. But that's just a FYI for your information. We're not over here pointing fingers at actual people and saying, oh yeah, they got clones in this city. Nah, we're just telling you general information. Because the wicked, the left-hand side, the stage is there. So, they have this window to tear shit up. But we're just warning you of the, your general information, what you need to know. Because the Lord is warning the whole world, of what's coming. You see, verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many, like General Yohana, Elazar from Sakari. Look what these dudes are doing. All right, verse 12. And because iniquity, meaning sin, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right? So, because wickedness is so like polluted here on the earth, the love of many shall wax cold. See, because the people that once had love for one another, that cared for one another, they're like, forget them. So there's gonna be a lot of betrayals, a lot. Verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Because it's all about enduring. All right, because the whole world is gonna go through stuff, including the Lord's elect. And verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom, the good news, shall be preached in all the world. See? So the Lord's letting the whole world know. So there's no excuses like, oh, I didn't hear it. How come you didn't tell me? The Lord's telling everybody. For a witness unto all nations. And then the end. And then shall the end come. See that? Alright, so, and that is an evident token to know that we're at the Edomites, we're at their end, because just the fact that the prophets are, because they're not just like, in Europe, the prophets are not just in America, the prophets are everywhere, in Australia, Mexico, South America, America, North America, the UK, let's see here, Asia. All right, so the fact that this world, the word is being preached to the four corners of the earth, that is an evident token that we are at our enemies at their end. Because remember, when people say it's the end of the world, it's the end of Esau's world, not ours. Okay, because for us it's just the beginning. See? All right. So with that's it on today's lesson on knowledge shall increase. These nations are gonna start bringing out their robots. You're gonna start to see that out here a lot more. Robot dogs, androids. Yep. Because that is Esau and these heathens. That's their blessing. All right. That is like what they got. Okay. Because Esau's blessing was the sword and the fatness of the earth. So part of that sword is his robotics, his AI. So once they start losing too many soldiers, what's next? The AI, the AI robotics. Okay, let's see here. Let me go to that right here. Okay, right there. So see? Check that out. So right there, Ukraine turns to robotics to replace soldiers on the battlefield. So that's just the beginning, and that is about to increase. And see that right there, what they have there in the picture? That's like, that's lightweight compared to, what this world's about to see. Because they have, this world has technology, like Iron Man. Stuff like, remember, like, you guys ever seen that movie Transformers, stuff like that? You're gonna see stuff like that, androids, exoskeleton suits. Remember, they even have invisible suits. You can't even see them coming. Imagine. So there's a lot that's gonna be happening out here, a whole lot. All right, so this is what see, you're already starting to see it now. See, that was what that picture was taken today, April 1st. Ukraine turns to robotics to replace soldiers on the battlefield. All right, yeah, today's the 1st. I was just checking. All right, so yeah, there it is. You see? All right. So with that, that's it on today's lesson. Keep the faith. Remember, and ye patience possess your souls. All right. So keep the faith. On your feet, soldier. Shalom.